Well, morning everyone. I'm just gonna have a cup of coffee and have my breakfast. I got those instant oats. They're in little pots. Just had a bit of hot water. They're all right. So I just have one of them. Going away later today. Got to pop back to the lovely Peterborough, my hometown. It was nicer back when I was young. I hear it's not so nice now. I never really go out in the town centre or anything. So yeah, so we're going to go back there. So what I thought in this video, I'll just give you a quick run through of how the boat's obviously powered. I thought I'd get all this stuff out of the way before I start cruising again, and then we can just concentrate on moving the boat and having a look round where we stop and what towns there are, etc. So I think I'll be cruising again next year, and that'll be staying on the Kennet and Avon. So I'll head down towards Bath, might even go to Bristol next summer, and then head back towards Devizes, and then probably keep going. It depends what time of year it is. There are plans for 2027, but I'll obviously tell you that close to the time, because I don't want people to know everything. But yeah, so sit back and let's have a look at this electrical system. Right, so we're in Daniel Oakley's engine room. Just a quick note, because I filled up the fuel tank, the diesel heater continued working. So yeah, make sure you got fuel. Anyway, let's continue. Right, so what I'll show you is what the standard electric system was when I brought the boat. So basically, the fridge, the lights, the bilge pump, most of the electrical stuff in the boat runs off 12 volts. Now that's supplied by 3 leisure batteries. Now I have changed the leisure batteries when I first bought the boat, because the other ones weren't brilliant. But now to get the 240 volt in the standard form, how the boat was when I brought it, basically, right, so it is that 1500 watt inverter. Now that's about as much use as a chocolate fire guard. You plug a laptop in and it trips everything. So to find a way of powering the boat's 240 system without tapping into the 12 volt and an inverter. Let's get that light back on. Well, I managed to do that, but what we'll talk about is the 12 volt system for a start. So down there are all your fuses for your 12 volt system. Just there, as you can see, let me use this light. I did switch this light on so I could. So the alternator, let's get it from there. So when you're chugging along, the alternator charges the 12 volt batteries that are under the floor there. Now I would lift that up and show you, but it's a pain in the arse to get the floor back on. But that's under there, under the floor there is where the 3 12 volt batteries live. And I've got a 240 volt battery charger, a Victron Energy battery charger. Now we'll come back to that. So chugging along, your 12 volt alternator, there's only one, charges your batteries, and you can see that from up here. Now this won't show, that's showing 13.55 volts, so basically it's being trickle charged from the 240 system because I'm on a mooring. So we're chugging along and the batteries are being charged by the alternator. Now to use obviously a 240 volt, there's a plug that plugs into there, and that powers all the 240 sockets that are on the boat, and you used 240. As I said, it ain't much cop. So what I've gone for is a Bluetti AC500. Now that's 5,000 watt. This top unit is just the control unit. So to use this, I've got 2 fitted, but you need one of them to run this top thing. Now that powers the whole boat. Now I've got 2 batteries. You can have up to 6 batteries, but they are heavy and they are big. 2's adequate for me. Now with this, you don't need all the control units for solar, separate control units for solar, etc, etc. So basically I've got 4 200 watt solar panels on the on the roof. That gives me, you don't get 800 watts, you get, for the max I've had is about 720 watts going in. Well, that was on a really hot summer's day. But usually you get 500 to 600 watts in the summer. Obviously winter's a totally different story. You get hardly anything. I've got a generator that I can plug into this and charge the batteries up via the generator, not the solar. Now, as I was saying, you don't need all the control units. So basically you wire the solar panels straight in and they plug into there. There's obviously a mains and a solar panel inlet, and inside that box it does all the wizardry and does everything. You don't have to worry about having this box, that box to control your solar, so that's really good. This also obviously runs, I can plug the electric cable into here and onto the socket outside, which is your offshore power socket. So when you're using a line onto the offshore power supply, you can plug this into that and this will run the boat when I'm cruising, when I'm out and about. Now obviously editing videos, playing games online, the TVs, it does eat power, but this will last me 2-3 days, probably 2 if I'm using it constantly. If I'm off work, I'm moored up, I'm using the internet, I'm using the Elon Musk Starlink, because that's how that's how I get all my internet. It eats power a bit, and I'm gaming online. I do use a lot of power, so it probably 2 days at max, and then I'd have to get the generator. If it was in the winter, I'd have to get the Jenny out every 2 days and just charge it up, or every day just give it a little boost. Now obviously at the moment I'm on offshore electric, so the boat's hooked up to that, so I'm using that, is actually charging off at the moment off the national grid. So I'm just charging the batteries because I'm going away. I want them fully charged because just to keep them ticking over. They don't like cold weather, so in the winter with the boat sometimes they might trip themselves out because they get a bit cold. I usually have the fan from the fire pointing at them just to keep them warm, and then you negate that. It doesn't happen. So, or if it does happen, just get the fire going, warm the area up, and it's fine. I really like the system. It is really good. It's good enough to power everything. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 13 amp main sockets and a 32 amp main, 32 amp socket there, which is totally different. No idea what plugs into that. Then you've got your DC output, cigarette lighter output. Then you've got all your 100 watt USB-C and USB-A. Yeah, you can use these separately, so I could charge these up, take them away. I wouldn't want to put them in the camper van. I wouldn't even want to try and get them off the boat because it's a pain in the arse getting them on. But yeah, these have all got outlets. They've got 12 volt cigarette lighter, USB-C, USB-A, and then they've got charging on the side. You can charge them separately on the side. These massive cables are what connects them together, the batteries, and then connect them to the control unit. But I find it's perfect for me. You know, it really is. So stand up, my back's getting hot with that fire, especially when you're cruising, because in the summer you're just running off solar. It's really good, really good. And you know, if you drain it at night, get it down to about 10%, and it's going to be sunny the next day, within a couple of hours of cruising, your solar's back up to 70%, and then you stop and you're back up again. I found it really good. So that's that. Let's just show you outside. I'll show you the solar panels and where I'm hooked up onto the mains. side, that is the circuit breakers for the main power for the electric hookup. So if something goes wrong, that'll trip everything out. And you've also, down here, if I can get to it, there you go, you've got a selector box. Now it's either off, 1 or 2. Now I think it's 1 I'm on, and that is the front electric hookup. There's also an electric hookup for the rear of the boat. So depending how you're moored up, I'm moored up front first, so I'm using the front electric hookup. If I reversed it and used the rear of the boat, I'd turn that to 2 and use the rear electric hookup point, and that'll obviously run the 240 volt system. We've got the 4 200 watt solar panels. Now these are by this company here. Really good. I fit them myself. They're on obviously brackets that you can tilt the solar panels to catch as much light as possible. And the hookup runs from here into the hookup on there. So yeah, that's about it really. Obviously, so just to recap, the boat, most of the electrical stuff runs at 12 volts. Let me hot water bottle. Runs off 12 volts, and then you've got the 240 system for running other stuff. So that runs obviously off that Bluetti or the shower, the Shoreline. Yeah, that's about it. That's all I can show you really. Obviously I'm running telly, TV, sound bar. I use for internet. I don't use my phone for internet. I just use Elon Musk's Starlink. But yeah, so well, thanks for watching. Don't forget, like and subscribe, it's free. I do appreciate all your comments. Just to remind you, the bathroom was a kind of update. It wasn't 100% finished. I've got the radiator now. I've been fitting that. I will give you a glimpse of when it's completely finished, 100%. But so in reference to the future, I'm probably going to start cruising again beginning of next year, just in the middle of winter. But you know, I started the year before in February when I brought the boat, so I've had a year on a mooring. I've got things done I wanted to do, like the bathroom, etc. I think next year is going to be a concentrate on the outside, painting, tidying up. But yeah, I'm happy with the way it's gone. Next year I will have to stay on the Kennet and Avon for a year at least. So 2027 I think could possibly be the start of a new journey. Yeah, and obviously going away in camper van Wilma, which that's really good. That's really good. It's big. It's bigger than the Jiminy. I mean, I loved the Jiminy. I loved the Discovery, the Land Rover Discovery. But the problem with the Land Rover Discovery was you've just got to spend so much time fixing them. It's always breaking down. You go for an MOT. This has gone wrong. That's gone wrong, and it just costs so much money every year. You just get to a point where you think, what's the point? So that's why I brought the Jiminy. I enjoyed taking the Jiminy across. Germany, Poland, looking at all the World War II stuff, Peenemünde, the Wolf's Lair in Poland, etc. So yeah, if you want to watch those videos, yeah, you can do. I'll put a link with it in the description. They're quite interesting. It blew my mind, some of the places I went to. But yeah, so many thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the cut again soon. So tatty byes for now.